Hi, darling. Welcome back. South African gym culture is very interesting. I think there's a lot of things we don't talk about, from the toxic membership contracts to the unrealistic body standards that are there for men and for women, and also just some of the shady things that happen at the gym with personal trainers. I want us to have a conversation about the aspects of gym that are scams. I'm not talking about the fitness, because yes, fitness is the goal, fitness and health. There are many people who go to the gym to fulfill fitness and health, but we need to talk about the scams that exist within gym culture. And these are very particular. Some of them are very particular to the South African context. That's why I wanted to make this video, because a lot of the issues that I mention are very particular to the South African context. I have about 4 points that I want us to go to as we discuss this. I want us to go through like 4 points, and I will try to be brief. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is this thing that has consistently frustrated me about gym culture in South Africa, like going to the gym. This is a scam. Personally, this is a scam. I will never listen to a South African girlie who has an hourglass body telling me how I can achieve a similar body shape and all that. Do not allow people to tell you, do not allow the South African girlies who are fitness gurus or in the fitness industry to give you advice about how to achieve their body type, because you can only change your body type through surgery. If you are a rectangle and you don't have the hourglass body, going to the gym will help you enhance and be a more sexy rectangular body. You can gain a bit of glutes, a bit of a bum through working out, but we don't talk about the fact that in South Africa, most South African women have the hourglass body type. And here's a lady who breaks down the video and talks about just the Sarah Batman aesthetic that a lot of South African women have naturally. So, girl, I can't take advice from people who naturally have that body type.
First of all, Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Sarah Batman is from South Africa. I am from South Africa. Sarah Batman's body is a typical South African woman's body. Small upper body, curvier bottom. South Africans have such an amazing natural BBL body that even back then, they were so wowed by her body. And up until today, in 2024, people look at South African women and they're still wowed at how we have the natural BBL. Well, let me not say we, because I don't have that body, I'm slim. But anyways, so like I'm saying, each African country has its own look or features, bodily features that make us distinct and that make us different with each country that we're from. It's the same as here in the US. I live in LA. Every single state has its own dialect and accent and, their own look. And just judging from, how they look and they do their own ancestry DNA, they're able to find, okay, which part of Africa they're from. And then those features are able to be easily linked to that country. So if you're going to debate with me about Africa, especially South Africa where I'm from, I want you to at least know the difference between Africa being a country and a continent. And then also know that as a South African, especially as a South African woman, I'm very well versed on the type of bodies that we have. And also the fact that Sarah Batman did not have any type of physical condition. She has a typical natural BBL body that every South African woman has. Go on TikTok and search for South African woman bodies and you will see curvy, slim upper body, curvy lower body, and it's natural. So yeah, like I said again, if you're going to debate with me about South Africa or African features, at least know the difference between Africa being a country and a continent. Enjoy your day, beloved.
So, if you come to South Africa, especially like I've noticed a lot of the West Africans, a lot of the Americans who come to South Africa, they they basically talk about the same thing when it comes to South African women. It is that South African women are built different. They have the hourglass body, they have the small waist and the huge hips. This is a very common trait in South Africa. It's called steatopygia, and this is one of those things that are genetic and common among South African women and South African men. I know the guys are gonna hate this, but but let's be honest. South African men also have big bums. There's this guy who is very popular. He's called the Squat King, and he has a big bum. But I'm not even, for me, whenever I see the amount of attention he garners, I'm always shocked. I'm shocked because this is a very common body type among South African women and South African men. South African men also have big bums. Like, not all of them, obviously. I know someone's going to be like, I don't have a big bum, but South African men also have big bums. Like, look at the Xhosa rugby players. Look at the guys from KZN. This is a genetic predisposition to hold fat in our glutes, and in our thighs. A lot of South Africans have this body type. That's why for me, I cannot listen to advice because from someone who has this particular body type naturally. Yes, you can work hard to build your bum. You can work hard, you can do your squats, you can work hard, and it will improve the shape and the firmness and increase in size. But we don't talk about the genetics that contribute to certain aesthetics. South Africans can work out and have even a more exaggerated big bum because we have the genetic predisposition. I don't have the hourglass body. I have the bum, but I don't have the hourglass body. That's why for me, I don't like I don't like listening to fitness advice from someone who has a small waist and the hourglass body. I don't, because whatever I do, my body's not going to shape and morph into the same body type. I have to look at someone who has a similar body type, who has a very athletic body type, and try to emulate the same gym regimen, because that's something people don't talk about. Some of the girlies naturally look like that. South African women naturally look like that. They won't tell you that some of them come to the gym to take Instagram pictures and then go home, wear a cute gym outfit, a cute two-piece, and come and take pictures by the mirrors and go home. And you assume that that body was built in the gym. South African women naturally look like this. Like, it's a very common trait. Yes, not 100% of South African women have the hourglass body and the big bum, but it is a very common physical trait in South Africa. That's why if ever you're going to follow gym advice, don't follow the advice of women who do not look like you. Even the men, don't follow people who don't have a similar genetic predisposition as you. South African women and men have big butts. I don't care if this offends the gents, but like, it's the only difference between Squat King and South African men is that he wears tights. If South African men would wear tights as well, we would also see that they also have big bums. It's like a trait we have genetically. And if you're going to follow a gym regimen from a South African, be aware of the fact that genetically, South Africans have the genetic information in their bodies to have more bigger glutes naturally. You can work hard and build them from scratch, definitely, but it's not going to be as exaggerated as a South African body type. The other thing we don't talk about is the gym contracts. There was a recent post that I saw on Twitter that talked about like the closure of Virgin Active in like Soweto, Maponya. I don't know if it's Maponya Mall, but here's the post. Like a lot of the feedback that people were giving was basically like, you should change the format, you should change the formula of how you run gym contracts, of how you operate gym contracts. Because I will tell you now, gym contracts are scams. I don't care what anyone says. I know someone's going to be like, you didn't read the fine print. When I went to the gym, because I consistently went to the gym for like 3 years, and I remember I was going to Campus Square. I'm not going to name the gym, but I was going there, and I remember the recruiter told me that my gym contract will be 24 months. I signed a 24-month gym contract. And then when I tried to cancel it, because I had finished my 24 months, but they were still deducting money. They literally even sent like debtors via email. They were like, you need to pay this amount of money. I'm like, I haven't been going to the gym because my contract has ended. I feel like the recruiters scammed me in that process, because when I was signing up, I was told that it will be a 24-month contract, which I was okay with, and I signed for 24 months. 24 months had passed, but they were still debiting money from my account. And even to close that particular account, I had to cough out money in order for them to close out account. There's so many people who were going through this process with gyms. Here's a few videos.
I'm convinced there is nothing that is as difficult to cancel in this world like a gym membership. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter which gym you gym with, there is nothing that is as difficult to cancel in this world like a gym membership. Once you start calling your gym and telling them stuff like, hi guys, I'm relocating, so I'd like to cancel my gym membership. No, say, where are you relocating to? Nelspruit. Where exactly? Hey, where exactly? Where? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Like, gyms are the most... Guys, once you start telling them stuff, hi guys, yo, I'm seeing a fire. I can't pay my gym membership anymore. No, say, currently we're running a special for the next 3 months, 50% off. Where was this special? All along, where was it? Why this special comes out of the woodworks when I can't afford, when I need to cancel? What's happening? What's going on? Gym! Guys, gyms, just as gym is the... I'm telling you, if only these other companies, these other debit orders were like gyms, where you could call the bank and be like, hi guys, I can't afford my car. No, wait. What do you mean you can't afford your car? Currently we're running a 50% special for the next 3 months. If only dealerships and banks were like that. If only you could call the bank and tell them, hi guys, I'm relocating, so I don't think I can continue living in my house anymore. I'm going to relocate back to my mom's house. No, wait. Where exactly are you relocating to? Where exactly is your mother's house? Go there for 3 months and come back and tell us if you still want your house or not. If only these other companies that take our debit orders were like gyms. Yes. Hey, we'd all have our cars, man. We won't be repossessed. We'll all have our TVs. People will have their kettles and their beds and their headboards. Only.
Guys, I find it crazy how it's so easy to sign up for the gym. You'll go there, they'll ask you a couple of questions, sign you up, and now you're part of the gym. They're all nice to you. You're going to change your life. We're here to help you, whatever. But as soon as you're trying to leave, bro, it seems like they need approval from SAPS. They need approval from the army. They need approval from FBI, Hawks, everybody. All that's left for them to say, you're still fat. Why are you leaving? Bro.
Like, you can't open a gym membership if you know, Ukuti, you're not going to be consistent. Or you can't open a gym membership if you know, Ukuti, your time does not allow you to actually have a gym membership. Especially as a student. Like, bruh, I keep on seeing these videos of people saying, I open a gym membership and I want nothing to do with gym because I had to pay cancellation fee, I had to pay what, all those extra amounts. And those amounts are literally in your contract. Like, if you don't read your contract, then you're going to experience those type of situations. when you cancel your gym membership before the term is over, you are going to pay your cancellation fee. You are going to pay your 10% or 15% of the remaining months. And it's not only with like that purple gym, like Zone Fitness, right? Even with Version Active, I'm not sure about Planet Fitness, but I know even with Version Active, Zone Fitness, Gym Company, like you are going to experience like you paying an amount that you weren't supposed to pay if you did not cancel your membership before the time. So if you open a membership at any gym, make sure that you're going to be consistent in going to gym and actually finish your term. Thanks.
I kind of disagree with the last guy. He mentioned something about the fact that we don't read our contract, or that we sign up to the gym and then we end up not fulfilling the contract or ending the contract early and don't have motivation to go to the gym. Because I'm one of those people who actually signed a 24-month contract with the knowledge. I asked them, when is this contract going to end? And they said after 24 months. I had fulfilled my part of the contract. And I think it's also the recruiters to blame, because they told me false narratives. They sold me a false story. And I understand it's capitalism. You want to make money, you want to make sure you have customers, but I had to realize, like, oh, I'm being scammed. This was supposed to end after 24 months, and I think they know that we're not going to read the fine print. We're not going to read the fine print. I hear 24 months and the agreement is 24 months. So the contract is supposed to end after 24 months. No more debit orders after 24 months, but that didn't happen for me. The other thing we don't talk about in the fitness industry, and I'm talking from scientific and personal experience, I'm talking as someone who has dated 2 bodybuilders. I know the ins and outs of the fitness industry, and don't take advice from a guy who blew up in a matter of 4 years and he's massive. I am telling you this now because I know that even for the guys, there is an unrealistic standard where these guys will give you advice and tell you, you should do this, you should do that. One thing I'm going to say, a lot of guys who are bodybuilders do work hard. You do have to work hard to have that massive stature. What steroids do is that they enhance your recovery time. You recover quickly, your body can tolerate pain easily, and you just get to have more of a swollen kind of appearance. And I know that, yes, there is a genetic component. Not every guy who is big is on steroids, because there is a genetic component. Like, mostly West African men or Central African men can achieve a very bigger physique naturally, but there is a cutoff point. When you work out, your body stops increasing in mass after like a certain amount of time. Your muscles it becomes maintenance. It becomes, this is your body that you have now, and now you have to do maintenance to maintain that same aesthetic. But if you want to get bigger, that's when steroids come into the picture. And I know people are going to be like, no, some people are just genetic freaks. Not everyone is a genetic freak. And don't take advice from someone who tells you you are going to look like this, because there are personal trainers who lie and say you can achieve their body type in this amount of time. What they don't talk about is how they are injecting each other in the bathrooms with steroids. They don't talk about how they have an underground market, a black market, that actually they share information and give each other names of suppliers for steroids. And don't get me wrong, guys who are bodybuilders work really hard. They work hard to achieve that body. You're not just going to inject these things into your body and think you're just going to be swole. but they do enhance, they do boost. So if you want to see some of the symptoms of steroid use, here is a video.
Let's be real, steroids can turn you into a beast at the gym, but at what cost? So it's known that steroids can increase your muscle and your endurance and strength. And you also recover a lot faster than the average human. You lift heavier, train harder, and you see gains that take years in months. It's like putting your progress on fast forward. But here is where it gets dark. Those quick gains come with serious consequences. Steroids can mess up your hormones, leading to things like acne, hair loss, and even man boobs from the estrogen imbalance. And listen, that's just the beginning. The risks go way beyond your appearance. Steroids can damage your liver, increase your risk of heart disease, and mess with your cholesterol levels. Not to mention the mental side effects, mood swings, aggression, and even deep depression once you come off them. The thing that people don't talk about is how hard it is to stop when they start. Your body literally became dependent on them, and stopping them might lead to a total hormonal crash, where your body struggles to create testosterone naturally again. True progress is more than how you look in the mirror. It's about your health, your mindset, and your future. Think twice before you take a shortcut that could hurt you in the end.
What are the side effects of steroids? Well, to name a few, you can have hair loss, hair growth, shrunken balls, acne, man boobs, high blood pressure, and a complete psychological behavioral change.
How to tell if someone is using steroids?
So it almost sounds like you're saying there's a certain look that derives from a person from taking these drugs.
Without a doubt, for sure.
Can you give us some examples of what that might look like?
Well, the muscle tends to have a more swelled, even at times bloated look, and the veins actually become almost grossly enlarged. One of the side effects of steroids is that it increases blood volume by up to 2 pints. So when you see a bodybuilder in a gym with what appears to be abnormally huge veins, they are in fact abnormally large.
Let me tell you something. These guys are not lying at all. I have seen the actual symptoms of someone who's using steroids because I've been in close relationships with men who were in that type of industry, and there are signs. Usually the face looks round. I don't know what, it's like fluid retention. The face looks round. And even the trapezius muscle, it's that back muscle. They usually have very like exaggerated shoulders, very like it gets like very huge. And yes, there are men who genetically have that naturally, but it's not very common to be extremely massive. They have very big veins. Look at the back. They also tend to have acne on the back. They tend to have like acne on the back. There is certain telltale signs. The basketballs shrink. They do shrink. They do get smaller. And also gynecomastia, which means like the development of breast tissue, because when you take testosterone, your testicles take a break from producing testosterone because they are getting external testosterone. So they think, oh, we need to take a break because we're already getting enough testosterone. That also creates a hormonal imbalance where your estrogen levels can rise, because men also do have estrogen. So that's why you'll find they also have like these nipples that you just like, they kind of, you're like, So there are signs. I'm telling you to tell you this. You can achieve a lean, athletic physique naturally, but that's going to be a gradual process. The guys who just, you see him one year, he's small and lean, and the next year he's exaggerated and big. That should be the telltale sign, because it takes years to break up muscle tissue. I've been going to the gym and I can tell it takes years to break up muscle tissue for it to get that massive. For some people, even 10 years before they become massive. Those who just get quick results are not genetic anomalies. They are taking care. They are enhancing their appearance. So don't put pressure on yourself, especially for the guys. And I know there are women who also take steroids. Don't put pressure on yourself to want to look like that in a short span of time. It's a scam. Like, it is a scam, because they won't tell you what they are doing. They'll just say it's Herbalife, or they're taking protein shakes or creatine. It's not. Take fitness advice from personal trainers who look realistic, who look, either they have like a football player physique, because I know personal trainers who don't use any performance enhancing drugs and their bodies are lean, they have muscle definition, but they are not swollen. They don't look swollen and massive. They look fit, they have muscle, but they don't have that, you know, ballooned appearance. The last thing that I want to talk about that is very unprofessional, and I'm like, this is a scam. You should be going to the gym to actually work on your fitness and work on your health. But I know and have heard stories of personal trainers who have very inappropriate relationships with clients. And this is not common. This is not common, but I've seen countless times, or even guys who are not even qualified to be personal trainers, training these women, training their clients, and then the next week or the next month there's beef at the gym. They don't want to talk to each other because now he's on to the next one. There is a culture of, if you're going to go to the gym, don't go there to date. Do not go there to date, because I have seen countless times where you are the newcomer, you see the newcomer coming in. There are stories of what happens in the gym. I didn't even know that people were dating that much, because when I was dating, I wasn't dating people who were in the gym that I was going to. I dated someone who was going to different gyms. So I learned from people's experiences about what was actually going on. Some personal trainers take things a little too personally in the gym. That basically breaks the boundaries of client and personal trainer relationships. But I feel like I missed a few things. So if you know any other thing that you would like to add to this, are these things that I talked about considered scams, or just like, yeah, very problematic things in gym culture? Let me know. If you got to this part of the video, leave dumbbells or a muscle emoji to show that you got to this part. And thank you for watching, darling. Bye-bye.